It's fight week here in a windy Dublin. Mick Conlan and Jack Bateson. Mick Conlan coming for the first time for a professional fight in the capital city. Today is the fight week press conference where the two fighters come face to face for the first time.
Good afternoon, Dublin. Give me a little bit. Good afternoon, Dublin. We'll try one more time. Good afternoon, Dublin. Thank you, that's what I'm talking about. Look, so we're here Friday night at the Free Arena. Michael Conlan will make his professional debut in Dublin. It's strange really because not only has Mick never thrown a punch as a professional in Dublin, but Ireland on the whole has been starved of watching their own talent appear on their treasure patch. Of course, the one and only Katie Taylor lit up this city in her fights with Chantel Cameron, yet aside from that, Ireland has had to watch his talent flourish overseas. And for the Irish fans, we know they love nothing more than watching their talent thrive under the green and gold lights. And their talent's elite too, and that word elite resonates with Ireland. Katie Taylor, the aforementioned, like I said, the Golden Girl, battle-hardened Roy Keane, the leader, Brian O'Driscoll, the career slammer Rory McIlroy, Grand National winners Ruby Walsh and A.B. McCoy. This country knows talent. However, most of these sporting chapters are closed, and it's only really when chapters are closed you can appreciate success. Yet on Friday night in Dublin, Mick Conlan gets to write another chapter to an already successful story. London 2012, tick. Glasgow 2014, tick. Bulgaria 2015, tick. Doha in the same year, tick. It should have been a tick in Rio 2 in 2016, but instead of a tick it was a, can't really do that because of camera and kids, but you know kind of what I'm getting at. Olympic, world, European, Commonwealth, amateur, champion and medalist. But there is one more step, and that step includes the man who in a few minutes will be sitting just 2 seats from me. In Friday's case, one man's dream is another man's opportunity. Mick has been consistently talking about wanting to fight in Dublin. A dream. But there's an opportunity for, like I said, the man who'll be sitting there, Mr. Jack Bateson, and if you think that a man from Leeds is going to come roll over and have his tummy tickled, you are dead wrong. A big thanks to our sponsors, Ladbrokes, Infinitum, and in partnership with Oosh TV. Oosh. And thank you to the Free Arena too. There's a few tickets remaining, more sold than anticipated. It's going to be a really, really big and noisy night on Friday night. Tickets can be got at wasserman.com. And that's enough from me. I'll introduce the table. We have Kalle Sauerland, promoter, in the middle. Over the far side, Mr. Grant Smith, trainer of Mick Conlan, and just next to me, Mark Bateson, trainer of Jack Bateson. Kalle, I'll come to you first. This is significant, this occasion, but it's not really the big story. Yes, Mick will walk out to a cacophony of noise, and he's always wanted to do this, but the big story is, if he loses, world title dreams are over.
Yeah, good afternoon all. Lovely to be here in Dublin at a traditional boxing press conference. Yeah, before I get onto that, I mean, like, yeah, this is the stuff that my dreams are made of, at least as a promoter, you know, to be involved in historic moments in the sport. Been blessed to have a few, certainly none here in wonderful Dublin. And, you know, if you look at Mick Conlan and you would arrive from another planet and you were told, this is Mick Conlan's story, you know, blah, 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 there's two things that strike me that is just unbelievable that haven't happened yet. One is that he hasn't been a world champion yet. Two is that he hasn't fought in Dublin yet. So Friday night, live on Channel 5, and we do expect an absolutely raucous atmosphere. We're going to get that tick. And God willing, because he's got one hell of an opponent, one hell of a storyline whenever it's England versus Ireland, Ireland versus England in any sport, he can move on in this high stakes chapter, to what you're referring to, this high stakes chapter of his career, where every move will be watched and talked about and decisive in where he goes from Friday night. But he has to get through this test of fire on Friday night to go on to a world title fight, to go on to those very big fights. And you know, I've promoted a few homecomings in my time, let me tell you. And you know, I remember doing one in Sweden where we brought back boxing. It was illegal to do boxing. We had the European title fight was Eric Skoglund. And the reason I talk about that is because, you know, you can sort of pick the opponent. You know, you can pick the opponent and you can get away with, you know, softer touch. Thank you very much. Sky News is announcing this right now. We are live on Sky News now, so I'll continue. Yeah, no, you can pick the softer touch. That man is not the softer touch. Yeah, he's live. And as I said, he's bringing a big army over here from Leeds, I believe, the Leeds fans. So it's going to be quite an atmosphere. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Mick, but also all these great Irish talents on the card. 12 fights on the card. My brother has not let us down on the matchmaking side of things. We're going to see Ireland's best. We're going to see some of wasserman boxing's best coming through. We've got Charlie Edwards, former world champ, looking to put his career right back on path. Got some really exciting young names you'll all be seeing around the media the next couple of days. So just very, very excited to be in this wonderful city promoting boxing. So thank you very much.
Kalle, how much different does it make a night when you've got a crowd that are backing their man? Not that they don't elsewhere on the planet, but if you've been to fights in Belfast and the few that there have been in Dublin in recent years, how much difference does it make to what we will see in the ring?
Well, I mean, you know, again, you know, I can't choose always what fights I promote, but it's so beautiful, this sport, when it's on a stage when you've got people who care and not just a venue that's been filled up. And there's such a difference. As a promoter, I can walk in and I know when people have bought tickets, been gifted tickets, you know. You know, 27 years of doing it, I can walk into a room and I know who cares, right? And the fact is that wherever Mick's gone, people have cared. Yeah, we saw it even in his co-featuring in Brighton. There was a little Irish crowd turning up. We've seen him in America. We've seen obviously in Belfast. They care. His followers care. But the Irish people generally care about sports, and you see that everywhere in the world. You know, I was talking before with someone. You know, like, you know, look at whenever there's, you know, Irish guys fighting or competing in any sport in America. You know, there's lots of different nationalities that live in America, but it just seems to be the Irish that make the noise, you know. So I'm very excited on that. I think I had a taste of it last summer with Misfits here. Obviously, very different sort of vibe around that. That was good fun, and I'm just excited to sample it Friday night, and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, the way the arena's shaped, it's going to be seriously loud on Friday night. Grant, I want to throw to you. I know you don't want me to ask too many questions, and I think that stands for both you and Mark today. But I went to see Mick in camp just for a day, just for a morning even, and he told me about this freedom that he's fighting with. There's a bit of a weight off the shoulders after defeats in recent years. Obviously, he joined you now. But I was looking at a dog in the gym. He was working hard. The sparring was tough, hitting the bags, hitting the pads, a bit of cardio. Fighting with freedom, yet training that hard. I want to know what sort of character you're seeing in the gym from Mick.
Mick's Mick. I've just told him to enjoy it. He's enjoying it himself now. There's no pressure on him. What will be, and I think he's quoted that in a lot of interviews. We all know what type of fighter Mick is. We know he's a very good fighter. And I said to him, just express yourself. Show it, feel it, enjoy it. And he's enjoying it now. And a few things we've been working on, they're all taking shape, but he's enjoying his boxing. He's working hard. He's always been a grafter, Mick, anyway, and he enjoys being in the gym. But while he's enjoying the gym, he's working hard, and it's making life so much easier for him.
And Mark, to you, I know this is a results-focused business, but for those who don't know, I mean, the last name's a bit of a given. Just for you, Jack will be fighting on terrestrial television. It's been a long journey, a hard journey. I know there's been ups and been downs, professional defeats, and obviously missed out on the Olympics as an amateur, but to be fighting on terrestrial TV, it will be huge numbers. Away from the result for a second, just what does that feel inside you? What does that make you feel?
Jack's been there before, you know, he might not have boxed on such a big stage, but he's boxed all over the world as an amateur. He knows Mick quite well. You know, Mick was on the Irish team, Jack was on the GB team. I believe that in 2013, Jack won a bronze in Europeans and Mick won a silver, and sort of like, so they know a lot about each other. And like, Jack's up for it, he's ready to go, and it'll be a great fight.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, we'll introduce the two main event fighters to the stage. First, the challenger, Jack Bateson. And the main man for this week, anyway, Mr. Mick Conlan. Mick, it's a pretty simple one from me. How long has this taken, by the way? Why on earth at 33 years of age is this only the first time you'll be letting your hands go in Dublin as a professional?
There's loads of reasons, but you know, we're finally here. You know, albeit in the twilight of my career, we're here, and I'm very excited for it. It's going to be a great night. You know, I don't think we picked the best of times or locations for a press conference, but we're here and we'll get it done.
I just spoke to Grant about something you said to me when I come to see you train about the pressure being off and there not being much weight on the shoulders. Does this really not incite any fear? Because you'll wake up Saturday morning winner or loser. But if you wake up loser, I mean, a big night that has slipped away, does that not incite fear into you anymore?
No, I'm not going to lose, that's the thing, but what will be. You know, everything we do is already written, so you know, I've put the work in. I've been honest in the work I've put in and the craft which I've dedicated myself to, which is boxing. So I'm happy with where I'm at, and you know, I'll make sure on Friday night it'll be a win. But listen, I'm not sitting here saying I'm not going to be nervous. Of course I am. Of course there's a certain type of pressure, but to be honest, I don't feel it in the way I did when I was younger and the way I did when I was in different kind of fights in different positions. So I'm just enjoying it at the minute. I'm really having fun, and I'm excited for this fight because this is the best I've felt going into a fight in a long time. That training camp was fantastic, and teaming up with Grant and the guys at Steel City, it's been brilliant. It's kind of revitalised me, and you know, I'm in a really good place mentally and physically.
Yeah, two lads feeling good and at their best. This has got all the ingredients for a cracker. Jack, it's a big occasion for Mick, like I've mentioned many a time in the last 10 minutes, but it's a big occasion for you too, and that's not something to have taken away from you. How do you process what will be on Friday night in the build-up to a really big night for you and your career?
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest one of my career, as you've said, and it's one I'm really looking forward to. It's the opportunity I've been waiting for since I first laced the gloves as a pro, and now it's here. I need to take it with both hands and perform the way I know I can.
What excites you the most about this? Is there one thing that you're like, that's kind of getting the blood pumping, being opposite him when the first bell goes, the ring? What's the main thing right now that you're kind of buzzing to get towards?
To be honest, it's just the opportunity. Like I said, I've been waiting for these sort of opportunities all my life, and it's what I've been working for. So it's time to show everyone what I can do. You know, what better stage to do it on, live on Channel 5. Everyone can watch, and it's going to be special.
Mick, back to you. What can we expect from that ring walk as you take those steps? How special will it be? I don't know what you can and can't say. What tricks?
Listen, it'll be very, very great for everybody who comes. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Like all my fights are, the atmospheres are always amazing. Once Grizz plays and the crowd starts singing, that gets me going. You know what I mean? That feeling is unbelievable. So I'm excited for that. But listen, I'm excited for the fight. I know Jack. I like Jack. His family. They're very respectable people. So there's no bad blood there. I'm not going to try and build anything up like we don't like each other. We're sound. We've shared the ring. We've sparred, so we know each other in a sense. Albeit a long time ago, and I don't even really remember it. So I'm just looking forward to getting and performing it. The excitement to get in there and seeing the crowd go crazy once I get the job done is where you can just sit back and go, yep, it was worth it.
What year was that spar, if I can ask?
I don't even know. It was like I heard Jack saying recently it was him and Jason Cunningham down. It was a good load of years ago now. Like it was for one of the fights I had against. I can't even remember.
About 5 years ago. So I was going to say about 5 years ago. Is there anything you remember specifically, Jack? Perhaps with Mick being the name he was stepping in, trying to impress, or anything you can pick from what happened 5 years ago? I know a lot's gone on.
Yeah.
Since.
No, not really. To be fair, like I never thought me and Mick would cross paths like we are now, and obviously me and Jason were down there for one job, and that was to help Mick out. So there's not much I do remember because I wasn't thinking too deep, but I do remember it being a good spar, and like Mick says, we've got a lot of respect for each other, and once we're in the ring on that night, we're there to do a job, and that's to win.
What impresses you the most about Mick?
He's had a brilliant career. I think he's done loads that I could say he's done brilliantly, but I'm not going to sit here and start reeling off things about Mick. You know what I mean?
You can reel off the things you don't like. We're up for that.
We'll save them.
Mick, I'll ask you the same question. Not that you want to sit there and try and blow smoke up Jack's backside. But what impresses you about Jack from what you've seen?
Listen, I've known Jack a long time. From the amateurs, I remember him. He was a weight below me, I think, but he's a good technical boxer, good ability, tough, gritty man who can dig deep when he needs to, and is always game and fit. So, I need to be on my A game to beat him. He's going to be on his A game. So, I believe I'll have the best Jack Bateson in front of me, and I've got to be the best me to beat him.
Kalle, what do you want to see from these two?
Well, I'm very happy, first of all, that we got a quiet press conference this week, not like the Misfits madness last week. That's the first thing that I'm absolutely relieved about, and I'm sure the security are as well. Of course, I'd like them to, throw chairs at each other now. That's what a promoter wants. But at the same time, this is what it's about. This is about the sport of boxing, and two guys who, for the normal human looking in on these superhumans, and we casually had a fight with each other sort of 5 years ago. I can't really remember it much. It's like speed dating. Look, they both are elite athletes, and we are privileged on Friday night to either have a seat, a gold dust seat in this wonderful city arena, the 3 Arena, or a space on our couch at home to watch them share their pain with us. That's the fight game, right? So, the fact that they're respectful now, that's good. And I'm gonna go on selling it as, we're privileged to watch a bit of the pain that they're going to go through, because they go through their barriers. It's not a marathon. Nothing against marathon runners where they go up against this elusive wall. This is real pain, and we must never forget that. We must never forget what this sport brings and what it does, and our passion to watch it, and that's what Friday night's about. So, may the best man win.
Not that you wouldn't train Jack for the best Mick Conlan, but if you're being completely honest, is that Mick Conlan just along from you the best Mick Conlan, or is the best one been, do you think?
I think as long as I prepare for the best Mick Conlan, we'll see on Friday night, because end of the day, I don't know what he's been doing in training, how he's feeling. On Friday, I guess we'll see.
Mick, is there an acceptance, again, not that I'm suggesting that you wouldn't train as hard as you can for Jack and overlook him, but is there an acceptance from your side that, look, he hasn't fought at a level that I have, that's just a fact?
No, from my side is that, I have a man who's very hungry, and it's his big opportunity. Anybody that fights me is always their big opportunity, and whatever happens, they'll have big fights after. So I know that I have a very hungry man who wants to come and take my head off on Friday night. I want to take his head off. I respect him, but I want to take his head off on Friday night. No problem. You know what I mean? That, as Carl said, that's boxing. But, I've prepared as well as I prepare for any other fight. There's been no stone left unturned, no shortcuts taken. So, it doesn't matter what level he's fought at. I've prepared strenuously for this.
And sorry, this is the madness of Mick Conlan, by the way. Yeah, this is a free-to-air fight. It's not a pay-per-view fight, right? This Mick Conlan returning to Dublin would sell out against pretty much anyone, but he's gone in for someone who himself has just said, he's prepared for an absolute war on Friday night. So that, just an insight. I'm just sitting there listening to that because we really could have picked anyone. Yeah, and Jack's got absolute ambitions in the sport. It's not someone who's he's not turning up to make up the numbers here and look pretty up here today. He's here to do the job, and that's the madness of Mick Conlan, because he's sort of sitting there, homecoming. I could have Cinderella next to me and it would still be selling out. And it wouldn't really make a difference in terms of where we're going. But he knows as well, at this chapter of his career, he needs this to know, can I get through this to go to the world title fights? Jack will be thinking exactly the same thing, by the way. Yeah? So that's when it's poetry boxing. That's when it's good. That's when it's not, I'm turning up for a payday, I know you'll do 2-3 rounds. They're both prepared for the rounds. Look at them. Isn't they're a bit more quiet today? It's because they're making weight, Simple as that.
Don't even
Mick's certainly a lot bloody louder normally, that's for sure, I can tell you that. So that's what they're going through for us to enjoy on Friday night,
Yeah, it makes a difference, Mick not talking the hind legs off a donkey for a change. I'll ask you
Never seen
both.
him so quiet.
I'll ask you both one final question, because you are locked in. You can see that. Look, you've both shown frailties, as you should in a professional career. No one goes through without that being the case. First for you, Jack, the manner of some of Mick's defeats. Do you think you can go in there and knock him out? Are you looking at it like that?
Obviously, it'd be lovely to do so. I think one of the reasons I may have been chosen tonight is because I think some people believe that I can't punch, but it's on me to obviously prove that matter wrong. And listen, no matter how I win, as long as I win, which I'm prepared to do, to go through anything to do, I'll be very, very happy. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity and looking to make a statement performance.
And finally, Mick, to you, we've seen Jack hit the deck. There's been them hairy moments. Do you think you get him into them and you take him out of there and people go, yeah, that's Mick Conlan? Is that what happens on Friday night?
I can. I know I can. I believe I will, but I'm prepared for a hard 10 rounds. Simple as that. I know I can, I believe I will. I didn't choose Jack because of anything to do with punch program. Anybody who wears a pair of 8-ounce gloves and gets hit with a pair of 8-ounce gloves can be hurt. So it doesn't matter who you are. It's nothing to do with records or anything like that. It's, I've got someone who's hungry and wants to test me and wants to get to the top. And I need that. I need to be tested. I can't go in against someone I'm going to just win against because I don't prepare in the right way. I probably do prepare in the right way, but I'm just not a threat. And it's too easy at times, and it's kind of probably take my foot off the gas. Where this time, I've drove the car into a wall, basically, going that fast. You know, I've been pushing really, really hard in this camp, and I'm very, very excited for it.
You've heard the pair of them. They are locked in, zoned in, Friday night live and free on Channel 5. Mick Conlan versus Jack Bateson. This is high-level boxeo. We're going to go to head-to-heads now and get a couple of pictures. Thank you, lads.
Yeah.
Pictures will be available at the back of the room for questions. Thank you.
Just that every time the rains, give it a kiss.